Hello everyone, Don, Resolute Outdoors here. Today I wanted to kind of go over a real world practical skill. We're out here camping today and I wanted to take a moment to kind of touch on how I fillet bluegills. Now, I know there's plenty of videos online about that, about how to fillet a bluegill or any sort of panfish, but there's not a ton of, I haven't seen any videos that have explained it this way, and this is the way that my father explained it to me. So I wanted to just kind of bring you in here and kind of go over how to fillet a little bluegill like this. Now, just so you know, I'm obviously going to be filleting a fish, so it's going to be a little bit graphic. If that's not something you're into, maybe it's better to turn away now. All right, so all you need for this process is a fillet board and a fillet knife. This is a homemade fillet board, but you can buy them at Walmart easily. And this is a cheap fillet knife here. You could buy those at Walmart as well. Not a lot of money invested in this setup here, just something simple. So let's get started here. First, you're gonna take your fish, you're gonna put it in the fillet board. Now, we're looking for mostly the meat is kind of up in this area here, on the fish, down into kind of the tail here. Obviously, this is just mostly ribs and organs, not a lot of meat there. So you wanna get under this dorsal fin here. And then when you make your first cut, you wanna actually kind of go more up this way, because if not, you're gonna miss some meat here. If you just go straight down, all this meat here, you're gonna miss. So you wanna try to angle a little bit more this way. Not too much that you can't make your turn later. So you have to kind of find the right balance. You're gonna go down into your fish. And you're gonna go down to the spine. You don't wanna cut through the spine or you won't be able to complete filleting effectively the rest of the way. You want to go down and you want to turn. Mostly going on the pull stroke. You're not really sawing, you're pulling. So you pull until you get started here. Down here can kind of be a little bit more messed up here. You're not really worried about a clean cut here. You're really gauging off of here. And so you want to go down the spine here. So you want to go down the spine here, all the way down to about here, and then I'll show you what to do once we get down there. Like I said, remember, you're doing everything pretty much on the pull stroke. You're not really pushing. It's not a saw. You're filleting. So pull, cut, pull, cut, pull, and cut. You work it down to here, and you leave it attached. You don't cut this off completely. I've seen a lot of people do that. This method makes it a lot easier. So you leave it there, and you go down so far, and you flip it over. So, kind of as I mentioned before, the meat was up here. So we have this piece of meat here, and these are the ribs. Don't know if you can hear those when I do that, but those are the ribs there. So, now the reason we left this flap attached, because it's gonna make this method a lot easier, and this is where the flexibility of your knife really comes in. So you cut into the meat here, down to the scale. You don't want to cut through the skin, because you're going to pinch here and you're going to hold on and you're just going to do the pull stroke again. So pull, 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 pull. They're going to hear you cutting through these ribs down here. That's fine. You're really worried you're gauging up on the top like you were here, because the bottom part really doesn't matter. Pull, pull, pull. So leaving this attached kind of gives you the ability to pull, and you're not trying to pinch this down. If you would cut this completely off, separate it, and try to pull it and cut it that way. Leaving this attached gives you this ability to pull off of this. Now this is all meat here. You have a little bit of meat down here. This is all waste. So all you do is then you come around, take your knife, you cut here, cut out those ribs. That up, and so that is your fillet from half a bluegill. So that's kind of what you get. This is a medium to smaller sized fish, so it's not a super huge fish or anything like that, but just wanted to kind of use this one as an example for you guys. So that's kind of what you get from one side of a bluegill. Call these panfish for a reason, because they're easy to fit in a bunch in a pan. But that's one side, and you could flip it over and do the other side. Typically, I'll flip the filleting board the other way, just so having the spine and the back closer to me just makes it easier, because this is the side you're actually focused on. you're not really focused on down here. So if I would just flip this fish over this way, I'm not working at the closest to where I'm actually caring about getting meat from. So I'll flip it over and do that here, and then I'll show you the final product once I'm done with that. One thing else I wanted to mention is once you get to this point, I'm on the second side of this fish, that flex of your knife that I talked about being really important this is where it comes into play here. Because you get this knife and you start into it on the piece of meat here, and then you really use that flex to kind of push and make that knife get as close to the scale as possible. Without that flex, this part of the step would be very difficult. And sorry if you can't see me here, I'm doing this the opposite way, so the visibility isn't quite as good. So see, I was able to get super close there. I trailed off a little bit here at the end, so I lost a little bit there. And a little bit at the beginning you obviously lose, but when you use that flex and you run that knife this way, you can clean off as much of the meat as possible. So then we have this part here. We'll trim this up again, like we did on the last fillet. And then we'll have to wash these off, but this is kind of what you get from medium to pretty much an average size fish, maybe a tad on the smaller side. So not a ton. These are great breaded and baked though. Real easy cleanup is you put your fillets on one paper plate, then you take your carcass and you put that on another plate with your ribs and your intestines if you lose any of those. You don't need any of those. Take your paper towels, clean your hands up, and put those away. You can rinse the board off with a hose, scrub it with some soap if you like, and then wash your hands obviously, but no matter, soap and water isn't going to get the fish smell out. The only thing that I've really discovered that can get the fish smell out of your hands is to use some hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer will kind of neutralize that fish smell after you've washed them and cleaned them up. So that's pretty much it. That's what you get from it. That's the kind of end result. Just wanted to kind of go over this real world practical skill, kind of put some of the gear that we have to the test and just to, everyday outdoor activities. I appreciate you guys tuning in. This is Don with Resolute Outdoors. Please like, share, and subscribe, and let me know down below what you think about this video. Thank you and have a great day.